I want to welcome everyone to my workshop today. I'm going to be turning a new giveaway bowl. The one that broke in my first video, we're going to replace it. And just a quick backstory on that. At work, we're having some team building exercises, and uh, I was chosen to show what I like to do in my spare time, my hobby, which is wood turning. I do love to do wood turning. And so on our meeting, I started to turn a bowl. I didn't get it finished because of the time of our meeting, and thus I created my first video where the bowl come apart. I was going to finish the bowl and let everyone see what it looked like. Well, we saw what happened with that bowl. It came apart, and so I decided, well, I'm going to turn a new bowl and record that from the beginning, and that's what this is. Um, the bowl that I was going to give away because after that week of whoever showed off their hobby also had a trivia day on some of the things that they like to do as well. And I figured, well, whoever won trivia, I would give them that bowl that I turned earlier in the week. And so we're going to make good on that promise and turn this bowl. The video that follows, it was done in different segments. I was playing with some editing, playing with different audio settings, camera settings. So they come and go. You'll see different things in there. Um, it's a learning progress for me for recording this way and doing this. So I'm glad you're with me on my journey as I continue to do this, and I hope you enjoy the video. So let's get to turning a bowl. On my lathe, I have a piece of oak, and it measures. It's about 6 inches by 5 inches. See, it's round. I mean square. That's not round. It's going to have some roundness to it, but not at this moment. So, getting a look at it. That's what it looks like on the face. So what we're going to start doing first is we're going to turn it and just shape the bottom and see what kind of corners we get uh, with it. So we're going to see what we can do. Yeah, I like turning these. So this might end up being kind of like a wing bowl, possibly. But we're going to see. Okay, so we're starting to get really there. I want to get up to the corners here, get a little bit more, and probably take just a little bit more of this so it's not quite as flat. So we're going to see some more of that. I have changed over to my um, carbide, just a little more familiar with this, and I'm going to be using both. Okay, so I finished sanding up through 220. That's about as far as that I'm going to sand on this. Um, I will use some abrasive paste on this in just a little bit. But first, what I'm going to finish this bowl with is going to be some Danish oil. And what I'm going to use is the Watco. See if I can get it in there. The Watco Danish oil, medium walnut. And so for me to apply that, tops are a little bit too funky to get off. Um, what I normally do is to apply that, I'll pour what I need in a cup, just a little bit. Uh, I need to make me a board, but for now I just use wax paper to cover up the bed of my lathe. Got my Danish oil. Then I'll use either a rag or just a plain old cheap chip brush to apply it. Get it in there, and we're just going to do just a little coat. there just to get it all up in there. Brush the edges here. We're going to let that sit a little bit, and we'll do the top now. We'll just brush that on. Oh, that whole bowl here. Put this. Had a little bit too much, but I'll put the rest back in the can here. We'll clean that brush up. We're going to let that sit just for a little bit. Turn my lathe all the way down. And we'll let that kind of spin there. And then what I usually like to do is get a rag. Just kind of start buffing it in and getting that extra stuff off. And we'll do the same for the outside. That's why you use paper towel. It'll get caught, and it just takes it out of your hand. And got a little crack right there that it keeps catching on. Had that been a rag, it could have been a big rag. Now sometimes I do use little pieces of rag, maybe a size of this, where it won't get caught up in it, and it will rip that out of your hand too. But paper towel is good. And now what we'll do is I'm gonna leave this oil to soak in. This won't be the only coat. I'm gonna put at least 2 more coats of a Danish oil, but it'll be clear Danish because I don't want the bowl to get any darker than that. So the clear Danish will we'll give it some more body into it for the wood under the protection. And then just because I have a bunch of it, I may finish it over with lacquer. But when I do that, I will bring you back. But this is going to have to sit for a couple of hours before I can add any more to it. So we'll do the. I have to sit a couple hours before I can do the final finish, and before I put the lacquer on there, I will use my abrasive paste on it, and then after the lacquer, we'll make sure that there's no lines or anything from the finish, and then we'll give it a final polish. We'll see you when that happens. Okay, so I've oiled it and it's dried a couple of days. And I had this little crack here. If you remember, that's where it was grabbing my paper towel. I just filled that in with a little bit of coffee and some CA glue. Got that smooth, recoated that with oil, and now that should not be an issue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish it with some coats of lacquer. And the biggest reason is I have a good bit of this stuff, and um, I'm just wanting to use it up. Of course, this will give it another level of protection on the wood as well. Now, what I've done is I've taken some brushing lacquer and thinned it down with some lacquer thinner, to where I could use it on here, and I like the way it turns out. It's been pretty decent for me to use it that way. Just put my cup on my lathe, turn it down all the way. I got some really nice comments on my first video and some nice suggestions. So I'm going to try to be putting those into practice. I really do appreciate that. One thing, a lot of woodturners out there who are a lot more experienced or have been doing this for a little while. It's really nice when they share their experience with us. It's truly appreciated. I'll have to clean off the paper towel. You can see that's the biggest deal with the paper towel. It'll get stuck in some of these pieces. Because there's times I like to feel some of the wood whenever it's, even after you finish turning. Like, this is not totally, get rid of that, smooth as glass. But to me, I like to, when I'm touching it, I want to feel it, that it's wood, not glass. And that's just my preference. Okay, so we're going to give it another couple of coats, and we'll let that dry for a few hours. And when it's dry, I'll come back and we'll take the tenon off, and hopefully this bowl will stay together as I take that tenon off, and then we'll finish up the bottom. See you in just a bit. Okay, so it's been a couple of days. The lacquer has completely dried. It's good to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and do uh, my abrasive paste. I use Acks Abrasive paste, and as Doug Miller from Wood Spun Round says, if you don't show it to the camera, it doesn't work. So I'm showing you the paste. We'll get the paper towel. I'll get my rag. Um, for this, I use a cloth-like rag that you get from one of the big box stores, and I usually cut them in half, especially for these small bowls. Uh, and then we're going to apply my abrasive paste. And we'll get a nice little bit of abrasive paste, and then we'll just we'll rub it on there. Start with the outside here. Get it nice and coated there. And now we'll got some on there. We're going to turn the lathe all the way down to start so that we don't fling it all over the place. Start it up, and then using the rag, the same side that we applied it with, we'll just start letting that work in to that piece. And you don't want to rush this. This is what's really going to help set this bowl apart whenever you do this. So don't get in a hurry. When your rag comes off clean, you know that you're done. I'll just stop it and see what we got. So you can already see the difference in it by applying that abrasive paste. It really does a nice job on the finish. There are a little bit here I'll have to clean out some of the grooves, but you can really see how nice that works out. And so we're going to do the inside of the bowl now. Right, now that's done, and again you can see how it really did shine that up. Now there's a few other ways that we can really do the finish on this. We could do a friction polish. Could leave it just like that. I could use an embellishing wax or any type of different wax, but what I'm going to use is the second part of the kit that Tom sends with his axe, and that's the polishing paste. And you apply this just like you would any other polishing paste. We're gonna wipe it on there. And there we have it. Nice, nice finish on that bowl. Okay, now I need to turn this over and put my cold jaws on and put the bowl up on it so we can take the tenon off. We'll be right back. All right, so as you can see, I have it mounted in my cold jaws. And if you notice from the previous video, there's something missing. I don't have that cloth around the bowl. One of the um, pieces of advice that I received from my last video, uh, and I received many, many nice um, pieces of advice on that video from so many of the woodturners that I respect. Uh, that cloth, it may have had a big deal on why the bowl flew out, because these are made to connect to the wood and not have anything in between them. So I appreciate that point. And so hopefully this bowl won't come flying out when we take this tenon off. So let's see how this works out. Okay, so on the bottom of the bowls, one thing that I've learned is that you want to have the middle just a little bit of a depression so that it sits on the outside of the rim and not on the middle. And so now I will sand that up and we'll finish that off. All right, now finish the sanding and the finish off camera. Let's take this bowl out and see what it looks like. All right, so here we go. There's the finished bowl. Like I said, we'll finish this. I'll get it signed and then we'll get it in the mail. But I really like the way, let's see if I can get it. I really like the way that it came out. Love the flat part here. And we incorporated the flat here as well. So this is a piece of oak, like I said, that fell during the hurricane. I really have enjoyed turning oak. I'm also working on getting a little bit better place to display my bowls and the things that I do. But as you can see, there's the bowl again. Inside and the outside, and like I said, I'll have the bottom finished here shortly. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video with the giveaway bowl. It is finished. So Scott, it's on its way uh, to you. Uh, Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to more projects. I have a project I'm going to be doing for my wife, a bracelet holder, and I'll video that as I make that for her. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye bye now.